friends, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Alana. For this video, I am going to be discussing all the books that I plan to read in August. So for August, I think I've created a bit of an ambitious TBR, only because I do go back to work this month, so I'm also going to be doing like all the pre-teacher things, pre-teacher setup during this month. I don't know how much I'm really going to be able to read, but we're gonna have positive vibes. I have a confession. I did film this already, like earlier in July, and then the film got messed up, so I'm refilming this. When I filmed it, I initially pulled 2 books out of my TBR jars. I decided I'm just gonna show you what I pulled and not re-pull them because I actually like the picks that I got. The first book I have on my list is going to be a reread, and that is going to be The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Every year so far, I have reread this book because it's just one of my absolute faves. I feel like I always do it around this time too, like as we start to go into August. If you have to pick up a Silvia Moreno Garcia book to read for like a first read, if you're trying to figure out which book to pick up, this is one of my like top recommendations, and then probably Mexican Gothic. This one for sure, because it just has a little bit of everything, like fantasy and romance. This story follows Nina. She has come of age to be presented into society, so she moves to the city to live with her cousin and his wife in order to like work on coming out into society and hopefully gaining like a marriage of some sort that'll be like beneficial for her. The catch is that her cousin's wife does not like her and really does not want to help her, and Nina is just very naive to the world and just people too, so like this like naivete doesn't really work with this society she's trying to enter into. And then we have Hector, who is this mysterious performer, and he has come of money, and he's come back to win his lover back and like propose, but the catch is his lover is married. He runs into Nina, and then the story ensues from there. I just really loved this. I really loved Nina, despite how naive she was. I really loved seeing her growth from the beginning to the end of the story, and just really how she came into herself and her confidence. And then I also really loved Hector. Despite like all of his flaws really coming out in this book, I really loved how he turned it around and how ultimately like he chose his happiness. I'll just leave it at that so I don't spoil it. Next, I have a buddy read with Robin that I'm doing, and I'm going to be reading The Songbirds of Ballads and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is one of the prequels to the Hunger Games. This is President Snow's like story basically of like when he was young. I guess in the story is like you kind of see the reasonings of why Katniss really bothered him within the original trilogy, besides the fact of like her spawning a whole revolution and everything. Earlier this year, like May-ish, I decided I wanted to read through the entire trilogy first and then go back and read the prequels. So I did complete that mission, and so now I'm on to the prequels. I'm excited to read this one because I haven't seen the movie at all either, and I know everybody said this was terrible just because of the fact that it is Snow's point of view, but I'm really intrigued to see not his origins, but I'm really intrigued to see the lore of the world. I know this isn't the very beginning, but this is the beginning of like his influence in the games, and so I'm intrigued to see that. And then obviously I know there is a District 12 contestant that like becomes the object of maybe his obsession of some sort, so I'm also excited to like read that lore. From what I know, like she has been purposefully hidden, and we don't learn about her in the original trilogy for a reason. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading that. I next decided to read Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I've heard such interesting things about this, all pretty positive, so I'm very intrigued to check this out and hopefully see if it's good. It's about a someone named Ophelia, whose mother has just died, and she basically has inherited her family's debt, which is very, very extreme. Her sister decides to enter Phantasma, which sounds like some type of dark competition of some sort, and so Ophelia has to go in place to save her sister, And it sounds like she has to compete like through a bunch of different like levels or floors or something within like a mansion of some sort. I have no real clue besides what the synopsis sounds like, but honestly, I love a competition, and this honestly sounds really interesting to me, especially the fact that she has to like go through like levels of some sort. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping I like it. Next, I have The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is the author and companion book of The Spell Shop. So I read The Spell Shop last year, and it was probably one of my favorite reads of the year. And so I was really excited to learn that there was another book coming out within this like world that she's building. I am excited for this one because in the first book, there is a talking plant. And you learn that he was created by another librarian who was punished by being turned into a statue of some sort for abusing magic or using magic without permission. And I believe this book is about that lady. And I think she ends up on like a mysterious island or something, and there's a magical greenhouse of some sort. I just want to dive in with the most minimalist of knowledge because I did that with the first book and I loved it. So I want to do it the same with this one. And I'm just really excited for the cozy, cute fantasy vibes that this is hopefully going to bring me. Alright, I have another buddy read that I'm doing again with Robin and Ashley, and that is going to be Blood and Steel by Helen Scher. This is also a reread, but I decided that I wanted to reread it because I read this last year and I loved it, but I want to reread it again in order to like go ahead and just move on to the rest of the series, because I think if Robin and Ashley like this, I think this is going to be a series we're all just going to buddy read together, which high hopes because we buddy read the entirety of the Diviners together and we had such a good time that I'm excited to pick up a new series with them. And with how much I enjoyed this, I'm hoping they like it too, because I'm really looking forward to continuing the series, especially because this initial series is finished and then I know the author is currently putting out a spin-off of some sort. This follows a woman named Althea who lives in a world where women are not allowed to be warriors. They're only allowed to be apothecaries, I believe. And she has like grown up dreaming of being a fighter. She is a fighter. Due to some circumstances, she is given permission to become a warrior, the only female warrior within her like little, it's not like a town, it's like a guild almost, I don't know how to describe it. But from there she learns that there is like darker forces at work, and so she has to basically train herself up in order to fight against the darkness. As she's doing this, she's being trained by one of the best warriors in their, again, guild. I really like this. When I first read it, I thought it was fun. I thought it was intriguing. I was interested in the lore of the world. I thought it was very interesting and different. I really loved the main character. I loved her spunk. I loved that she was really a fighter, like true to her heart, and she like really was not afraid to get down and dirty with her fighting when she needed to. Alright, next I have Silverborn, The Mystery of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is the fourth book in the Nevermore series. I really adore this series. I was really excited when this dropped in May. And I had been looking all over for it for like 2 months, and I finally found it. So I'm glad to get my hands on it. This series follows a girl named Morgan Crow, who is one of the cursed children that is prophesized to die on her like 12th or 13th birthday. And on the day of her birthday, she is approached by, I forgot his name, but this man, he's almost like a Willy Wonka character, and he basically tells her that if she comes with him and she enters the trials to join the like wondrous society of Nevermore, she can avoid this like fate of death on her birthday. She agrees and she goes, and from there she goes on this journey of like discovering who she is in this new world, discovering this new world, and discovering where she fits into it, especially as she learns that she is more powerful than she believes. There there is a whole mystery behind her identity. Next, I have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. So this is the companion book to The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Again, I read this last year. It was one of my top favorite books of the year, and I'm just really looking forward to reading this. I believe it's set in the same world, just following different characters, of course. This is about a woman named Sarah who she's kicked out of her guild because she resurrected her dead aunt and then lost all her magic. And so now she is basically kind of stuck with helping her aunt upkeep her inn. While she's doing that, she meets a man who's like a historian of some sort, and then there may be some like romance ensuing. That's pretty much all I got from the synopsis, and honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna just go in and live my best life. So those are the books that I picked for myself, and then I have two that I pulled from my TBR jar. I pulled one from just like my backlist Bookstar, and then one from my Fairy Loot jar. So the one that I pulled from my Fairy Loot jar is The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. I don't know what this is about. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is a gorgeous book though. It's really thick, but we're gonna go with it. The last book that I pulled is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. I'm really glad I pulled this because I read her other book, Foxglove King. I did not like it. I believe I gave it 3 stars. It was not a favorite, and I ended up deciding I didn't even want to really continue on in the series. So, with that in mind, I'm glad I pulled For the Wolf because this was the other book of hers that I owned, and I have been wanting to read it in order to figure out if maybe she's just not an author for me, or if it was just that book that I didn't like. I know it's a Red Riding Hood retelling. That's all I really know, and I think something about her being sacrificed to the wolf because she's a second daughter or something like that. But I'm here for it because I don't, well, not that I read a lot of retellings, but I don't really see a lot of Red Riding Hood retellings, so I'm very intrigued to see how this is gonna go. Those are all the books I plan to read in August. Again, I know this is very ambitious. Do I think I'm going to get through all of these? I don't know. I hope so. Considering 2 of these are rereads though, like I don't think it'll be super hard to at least get through like a good number of these. So if you like the video, please go ahead and give it a good old thumbs up down below. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave all that in the comment section. If you're not good at commenting, I'm going to go ahead and say leave me an emoji, please. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button.